Good evening and welcome to the Coach Mack Show. We're going to start off tonight's show with Coach Larry Carter of the Bethune Braves. Coach, how you doing?
Doing great.
First year head coach of the Bethune Braves, taking over for Coach Jack.
Stop. I forgot to submit it.
Can we dunk her? Good evening and welcome to the Coach Mack Show. We're going to start off tonight's show with Coach Larry Carter, new head coach of the Bethune Braves, taking over for head coach Jack Thomas from last season. Coach, how are you?
Doing great. How are you, Adam?
It's good to have you, Coach. I've been after you for a couple of years. We finally got you on here now.
Thank you.
The Braves had the soap game a couple of weeks ago. Everybody got introduced to your new Braves on young man Carlisle. Craig Carlisle made a name for himself instantly out there.
He did.
And then Woodard on defense.
Right.
Has several stops in the backfield. And this past weekend, you went over to Camden for the real deal. 2 jamborees. I was lucky enough to get to go over there and film it for you. Talk about that, getting those games Saturday and what you...
Well, we had a really good showing in the soap game. We had a lot of kids that really stepped up for us and played really well. Saw a lot of good things from a lot of kids. You talked about the Carlisle kid. He's a 7th grader, so we're going to have him back next year. The Woodard kid is actually a 6th grader, so this young man will be with us for 2 more years. So looking for a lot of things, and that kind of describes our team this year. We have a lot of 8th grade kids. We have some 8th grade kids, but most of our kids are pretty young. Most of our kids are 6th and 7th graders and are getting a lot of playing time. So there's going to be a lot of experience in the upcoming years. We may struggle a little bit this year, and we went over Saturday and we played 2 Brunswick teams. We played Jane Macon and we also played Risley, both out of Brunswick. And both teams were very big, very strong, very physical teams. Coming in, we were small, inexperienced, and our guys struggled in the first game. We didn't do very well. We had a lot of missed assignments on blocking. Our defense really didn't look good. So our first game, we really struggled. We made some adjustments towards the end of the game. Coaches and I talked about what we needed to change. We changed some things on defense, and our guys really stepped up in the second game and did a great job. They really worked hard to improve. They were coachable. They listened to what we said. They were enthusiastic about playing that second game, and they really stepped up and played hard. Our offense kind of came together. We've got 2 young men playing quarterback for us, and neither one has really decided, been decisive as to which one was really better. So we're playing both guys at the same position, and it's actually worked out really well for us. Both young men are working hard. They're doing a good job for us. Connor Nelson is an 8th grader. He's working hard. He's doing the good things. He showed us some good things throwing the ball. He handled the ball well. Then we have a young man, Colby Bryant, who's an upcoming he's a 7th grader. And this young man has really good footwork and really good technique. He's a little small, and we're hoping he's going to grow some next year and really step up and be a great player for us. Both young men are very coachable. They listen to what we say. They do whatever we ask them to do, and that's kind of indicative of this whole team. They're very coachable. They listen to what we ask them to do, and they perform for us. It's hard to ask for anything better as a coach. So, but our guys, we really struggled up front to begin with on the first game. Like I said, the Brunswick teams were really large. I mean, we have some really small kids on the field. Some of our kids, being 6th graders, are just physically small. And some of the Brunswick teams were large. I mean, their offensive linemen were, 5'11", 6 foot, 150, 200 pounds. I mean, big guys. We've got a kid that's 4'3" out there trying to block him, and our kid does it. I mean, he works hard. He does a good job. But to begin with, it was kind of tough up front, and we struggled, but I think we'll improve as the season goes on.
Coach, I know this past Saturday, watching the games from up top, I'll tell you, I'm out of shape. I had to climb that stadium with all that equipment.
Long way to the top of them stands.
It's a little bigger than what I'm used to. But the guys, once they settled down, they started playing some ball.
They did.
We got You have a nice little luxury, I think. You got two pretty good quarterbacks back there. That's not bad.
We do.
Both of them are throwing on target. Kobe Bryant hit I think it was like a 35-yard touchdown in the second game.
Yeah, he threw one to Troy Alderman, number 5, who's a very big, physical-looking kid. He's probably one of our better kids. Pretty athletic. He's an 8th grader, so he'll be a 9th grader next year. But plays wide receiver and safety for us. He's big, tall, rangy kid. Kobe threw a good ball.
Yeah.
Troy went up and got it and made a good play on it. It was a great play.
Connor and Kobe are both doing a fine job for you so far early on. In the backfield, Craig Carlisle, I know you probably talked about him. That kid, the first night we saw him, where everybody came to and was like, where did he come from? 4 touchdowns, what a night.
Well, he played for us last year as a 6th grader. He grew a little bit this year, got a little bigger. He actually played on defense for us a little more last year. We had some decent backs, and he couldn't quite fill in there last year, but he stepped up this year, and he's a big physical kid. He's only a 7th grader, so we're going to have that young man again next year. But he's a physical kid. He runs the ball hard. He pounded up the middle pretty well. He's not a breakaway speedster, but he's a big physical guy. He's a bruiser. He'll come at you. And I think that's kind of what our team's going to have to do this year is we're not going to have the speed to outrun people. We're just going to have to play up to them. We're going to have to go at them and make them work hard.
All right, Coach. The second game Saturday, those two schools,
Risley, Jane Macon and Risley.
I had never heard of them. Are they from the
Brunswick.
Brunswick? Okay, that's why I never heard from them. Are the private schools public?
No, public.
Both public. I'll tell you what, the young man, I didn't get up there early enough to get rosters for the other team, but that number 2.
Ooh, he was a big bruiser.
That young man, he's going to be somebody's terror one day.
Yeah, a big kid. Like I said, the kids we faced, I think our kids were a little intimidated walking out first day, hadn't been on the game field. We walk out, and I'll be honest with you, those teams were big. They were really big. They looked like our JV. I mean, they were big kids. But like I said, once our kids started playing, they settled down, did a great job of playing. We coached them up, and they listened to what we were asking them to do, and they really responded. So that's about all as a coach you can ask for.
First game coming up August 31st?
August 31st, we go to St. Mary's. So we'll be in St. Mary's on August 31st. Then we'll be at Callahan, and then we'll have our first home game here September 13th against Baker. So we'll be home that date.
And come home September 13th.
Yes, sir.
Baker County, Florida, some of my old stomping grounds from way back when. So we'll still have to put it on them, Coach.
We're going to try. We're going to do our best. That's, like I said, our guys are working really hard. We had a good day of practice today. Guys really got after it a little bit. Spent a little more time with instruction, correcting some of the issues we had on Saturday, and I think our guys really responded to it. So I'm pleased with the direction we're taking. So we may not be great this year, but I'm thinking we're building the right things. We're also working down there on character and the way kids should be acting in school. That's something we talk about a lot. We talk about what you should be doing in school, what you should be doing at home, and most of our kids do a great job of responding to what we ask them to do.
All right. Coach, I've got to ask you, first year head coach now, assistant a couple of years, that's a transition. What do you think?
It's hard. It's a lot of work. Didn't realize how much work I was doing and, how much work I was missing out on until I got this. And I think it's a good position. I think I'm trying to do my best there. Coach Mack, he's a great guy to work for. He's been a mentor to me for several years as a coach. He's a good friend of mine. He does a great job with our varsity kids. And that's kind of what I'm trying to model my program after, what he does for his kids. Trying to get them ready to step up and be ready to play when they come up and see him. Trying to knock off some of the rough edges and get them a little polished up and ready to go. So when they step into his program, they can play. So, I think he's done a great job over the years. I don't think that some people in the community give him as much credit as he really deserves. he's, had some amazing kids come through and play over the years and do a great job for us. And, a lot of them have gone on to be good men, not just good football players, but good men. And that's kind of what we're trying to start down there at 7th and 8th grade or at the middle school level is we're looking to start growing great men, not just great football players.
All right, Coach. I know coming up, you've got these ball games coming up. We, St. Mary's, Callahan, and Baker, we're going to follow you guys as much as we possibly can this season. It all depends on how all these different, we have so many ball teams around here, but we're going to do what we can to give the Braves live coverage as well this season.
Well, we appreciate that, Adam. I mean, you and Tammy work really hard, and we appreciate all you do covering our kids. We love the kids of Charlton County. It's really a blessing to be able to, if you can't make a game, y'all are covering it. It gives us a chance to see it, and we're busy guys too, and it's nice to be able to click on the computer and see what y'all are covering, and it's great. I mean, we really appreciate what you do for us.
I appreciate the kind words, Coach. I always like to end any Coach Mack show or anything, any segment we do. Do you have any fundraisers or anything going on with about for the Braves that we can tell the fans?
Well, we'll take money anytime somebody wants to give it to us. Right now, we don't have any fundraisers going on. With the season in full swing, there's not a lot we have happening. We're going to try to probably do some things in the spring or back in the summer, but right now we don't have a lot going on. Just trying to get, started with school and get things going. One thing I do want to talk about is my coaching staff. Chris Kraft is my offensive coordinator. He's doing a really good job for us. He stepped up this year into a position that Marty Strickland did for us last year. And Marty is a longtime coach for us, retired from the school system, and now he's Coach Mack's guy. We miss him. He's a great guy. He does everything down here for Coach Mack, keeps everything straight, and we miss him a lot. But Chris has really stepped up as the offensive coordinator, and I think he's doing a really good job of running our offense. It's the same offense that Coach Mack's running up here and Coach Wilkes with the varsity. So same terminology, same game, trying to keep kids things the same so that when kids move up, they are running the same kind of things, the same terminology. Nothing really changes. We have 2 new coaches on our staff this year. Josh Davis, I apologize. But Josh Davis stepped up this year and came in, and he's working with us, and he does wide receivers and defensive backs for us. Josh is a young guy just getting back in our system, and he's really helping us out a lot. He's really connecting with the kids, and I think he's doing well for us. I think he's going to be a great coach in the future. Brian Lloyd is the other coach we have, and Brian's a former Indian. He was part of our 1999 team. Josh also played some back, when he was in school. But Brian is a former center for us. In 1999, he was our starting center on our first state championship team, and he's back coaching offensive and defensive line for us. And he's getting those kids excited. He's getting them ready to play, and getting that mentality back. And we're trying to get that tough offensive line mentality back into our kids. Be a little bit of a bruiser. Go out there and kind of push these guys around some, and trying to get that mindset of we want to be tougher than you are. And that's what we're really working on. And those guys are doing a great job down there. They work really hard for our kids. My coaching staff will do anything I ask them to do. All I have to do is ask them, and they step up, and they're always there for the kids. They'll sit and listen to what a kid has to say. If a kid comes to them, they're very open. They're very approachable. Couldn't ask for much better. So I'm very pleased with what goes on with our coaching staff. So. All
right, Coach. Good luck on your inaugural head coaching season. We wish you all the best.
I need it, Coach.
Well, get a pre-count on your gray hair and count again into the season.
It's probably going to grow a lot. I tell you what, it's a lot different coaching as an assistant than it is as a head coach. It definitely changes things. I've been the head coach of a couple of other sports. I do wrestling and I do tennis, but yeah, football is a little more of a passion, and it's a lot more pressure.
All right, Coach, I appreciate you joining us.
Thank you very much.
We'll see you on the sidelines Friday night.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with the head coach of the Charlton County Indians, Coach Rich McCorder, right after this word from our sponsors.
Hi, I'm Stetson Bennett from Bennett's Hometown Pharmacy in Folkston, Georgia, where we love you and we need you. Here at Bennett's Pharmacy, we want to be your pharmacy. We offer a full line of prescription drugs, a full line of vitamins, and over-the-counter products. And we have tremendous service. We will take the time to counsel you on your medication. We'll even call your doctor to see if we can save you some money. At Bennett's Pharmacy, we support all student athletes in Charlton County. This spring, it's baseball, track, golf, and tennis. Get out and support these young men and women that will be the next leaders in our community. Bennett's Hometown Pharmacy. Remember, shop at home. It makes a difference.
Charlton Tire Service and Repair, located at 3399 2nd Street, Folkston, Georgia, has everything you need for service and repair of your vehicle. Go see them today. For information, call 912-496-7329. Charlton Tire Service and Repair, a proud sponsor of Charlton Sportsnet.
Folkston Pharmacy and Electronics, located at 3885 Main Street in the heart of downtown Folkston. They're Folkston's original hometown pharmacy with 49 years serving the community. They have everything you need, including household items, prescription medications, high-tech electronics, and much more. Their experienced and friendly staff in the pharmacy and electronics department are ready to serve you. Folkston Pharmacy and Electronics is a proud sponsor of Charlton Sports. Go Indians!
Welcome back to the Coach Mack Show. I'm Adam Bell. I'm with Head Coach Rich McWhorter. Coach, real quick before we dive into the football talk and Fitzgerald talk last week, I know you had something you wanted to go over, the back to school bash.
Yeah, our cheerleaders, cheerleading coach Shannon Murray, she does a great job with the girls, and our cheerleaders have supported us as long as I've been here, and they do a great job. They're going to have a back to school bash tomorrow night, Tuesday night, the 16th, from 5 to 9 at Dairy Queen. Just want to encourage everybody to go out there. I believe they're going to do a car wash. They're going to have cornhole. And we're going to have some of our football players out there helping out. So hopefully everybody can get out there and buy some food. Some of that proceeds goes to the cheerleaders. And we really appreciate everybody coming out to the back to school bash tomorrow night to help support the cheerleading program.
All right. So that's at Dairy Queen, August 16th, tomorrow from 5 to 9.
Yep.
All right, Coach. Let's, you don't mind, I don't know how much we want to talk about. Let's dive into the game last week. Fitzgerald, we went up there, brand new facilities there on both sides with the new press boxes and everything. Very nice. We enjoyed it the last few years ago. First time I was there, the visitors press box would move a little bit.
Yeah, they've done a lot to their facilities. I know the head football coach Jason Strickland was real proud of that. I believe they've also built a new track somewhere not near the stadium, but they've done a really good job up there. They're doing an awesome job supporting that program at Fitzgerald. You can see with the facilities, the field house in the end zone is magnificent. And you might have saw different places where they have people in the community that feed the team breakfast on day games, on game day in the morning. Also, you'll see where they feed a lot of the kids a lot of times after practice in the evening. So you see stuff like that, you've got a lot of support. And Fitzgerald has a tremendous amount of support. They've got it going on. They really should have a great year this year, and those fans will have a lot of fun watching that football team.
All right. Here you go, Coach. I'm gonna give you that marker pen and keep track of where you're at. I've got my tablet here tonight, trying to do a better job of that. I thought we'd start off on the offense, our defense versus Fitzgerald. The positive and the negative. What'd you think?
Talking about our defense.
Yes, sir. Our defense versus their offense.
Our defense versus their offense. There was no positives. It was as bad a play as I've ever seen on the defensive side of the ball. It had nothing to do with the scheme and the guys I got coaching are doing a great job. It's just the fact that we were outmanned and they were so much bigger than us, so much better than us, we couldn't do anything with it. They were extremely skilled. They have some great players on that side of the ball. The things I told our players back in January, when we got back from Christmas, after the season was over, after we took our Christmas break and got back, I told our kids we will lose and win football games between January and May in this weight room. And I don't know if the kids weren't listening or if they just didn't believe me, but that's where we got beat. We got beat in the weight room, first of all. Our kids don't, they got that dirty four-letter word now, which is work. We're not doing what we need to do in the weight room to get over the top to be able to compete with people like Fitzgerald. We missed tackles. We didn't do a good job getting off blocks. We played about as poorly as you can play on the defensive side of the ball. We've got to improve. Today, Mondays, we usually go over the film, go out in shorts and helmets and just go over things we need to correct. Today, we went out in full pads. We did a lot of running, and we did a lot of hitting today. We had somehow to get the kids to wake up and make them realize the football season's here. And this game is unlike a lot of other games where it's based around contact, and we did a poor job. Our defense has to improve. If we don't, we'll give up an awful lot of points to a lot of people this year.
I know offensively, especially offensive line, they were huge for Fitzgerald. They and absolutely loaded. I mean, they have like you said last week, so they have one back already committed to Oklahoma State. So they're a fine football team on the offensive side of the ball.
Well, when Coach Jason Strickland got there, him and his staff, he has a tremendous staff. I've had a chance to get to know some of them, and they took that group of kids and they did everything right in the weight room. They've got several coaches in the weight room throughout the day. It's one of those things. The weight room is so big and there's so many things going on. To really get done with the job that you want to do, you've got to put coaches in there like practice. You can't have one guy go conduct practice. You've got to have more eyes out there, more coaches. And what they've done in the weight room up there is he's able to put coaches in there like practice and get really everything done. And his kids have really understand what nutrition is all about. I've really talked to our kids and tried to get them to understand that, you've got to eat breakfast every day and you've got to eat lunch every day. All this needs to be done before you get to the weight room. Even a snack needs to be thrown in the middle of all that. And our kids don't seem to understand that or believe me. I don't know which it is, but like I said, I told them when football started, I said, guys, I hope it doesn't come true, but it may come true. You're going to realize how we did not work hard enough in the weight room, and it showed this week when we played Fitzgerald.
All right, Coach. Let's move on. If you don't mind, we'll move on to our offense versus their defense. I thought between the 10, 15-yard line of each end, we moved the ball really well. We just couldn't cash in.
Well, a lot of that goes to the strength of your football team, the strength of your players. We were able to have some success, and a lot of it was broken plays. I mean, we had no protection for the quarterback. Our quarterback had to scramble all over the field and was able to get the ball off to some people. We only had 2 good runs, I think, the entire night by our running back. The rest of the runs were by our quarterback, AJ. And we got to get better on the offensive line. That's our number one concern. If we can get better on the offensive line, I think we can have a pretty good offensive group. But until we get to where we need to be on the offensive line, it's not going to happen. We got to do better. Plus, when you get down on the goal line, that also shows the strength or lack of strength of your football team, and we weren't strong enough to get it in. That's just simply what I told the kids. I said, the truth of the matter is, you're all a bunch of great kids. I love you guys, but the truth of the matter is we didn't get the job done in the off season like we should have. We have a great weight room over there. We just didn't take advantage of the weight room like we should have. And, you get down by the goal line, we're just not strong enough to get it in.
Yeah, it all goes back to that off-season training, doesn't it?
It sure does. It really
that
does.
weight room, it's nice having this. I can see, follow along a little bit better with you, Coach. Special teams the other night, you had Brian Sloan on punting duties and Thomas Tomcat doing the field goal.
Well, we weren't real good there either. We tried to set up some kick returns to get Raekwon busted loose. We think he's one of the best kick return, punt returners in the state, but we didn't do a good enough job setting it up. We need to spend more time coaching it. We got to spend more time practicing it. We only had 1 punt, and I think it went for less than 20, 25 yards. Our field goal and our extra points, I'd say we were maybe 50%, and we should be much higher than that. We have a senior field goal kicker, extra point kicker. He was preseason All-State. We've got to do a better job there also. Our protection now, wasn't all on the kicker. Our protection was really lousy on our extra point and field goal. We got to do much better job on that.
All right, Coach. We talked about a little bit before I brought it up coming in with the Fitzgerald, the hospitality. I know you already have an established relationship with those folks. They treated us great over there. I mean, great host over there. Talk about what do you think? I know obviously the weight room is a big issue right now with you and the size differential between Fitz and us Friday night. What other things do you take away from this first scrimmage, early, positive and negative?
Well, we'd like to have taken away some positives from this. All of our coaches have looked at this film all weekend long. Today we showed it to our team, and to be quite honest with you, the positives were hard to find. And I hate to be negative. I know I'm coming across as a very negative person and everything, but again, we've got to do a better job all the way around. I mean, if we want to win football games or even be more competitive than we were last week, we've got to get better. We've got to get better every single day. We've got to get better in the weight room. We've got to get better. We've got to get better out here on the practice field. So it's just a lot of things we have to do to get better. I thought there were some things on the offense. I thought AJ did a good job throwing the football when he had time to throw it. I thought we played 3 running backs, and I thought all 3 of them did a good job running the football. You got Eric Daniels and Mike Elliott and Israel Gilliard. All 3 of those guys I thought are solid running backs, and really I don't look at any one of them as first, second, or third team. I really look at any one of them as first teamers. Any one of them can do a good job. That's probably some of the best depth we've had at running back in quite some time. So again, we've got to get it going up front on offense. Defense, we've got to get just better everywhere. And I think we will. I think they're being coached well. There's no question about that. I think that the players want to get better, and hopefully this week when we line up against Pierce County, it will be better, we hope.
All right, Coach. We're going to take a short break, Coach, and then when we come back, we'll dive into look ahead toward Pierce Friday night, and we'll be right back after this word from our sponsors.
Sure.
Head-On Collision is a family-owned and operated business located in Folkston, Georgia, across from Gibson McDonald. We specialize in automotive repair, damage caused by small and major accidents. We restore old vehicles and bring them back to their original glory. We also spray Speedliner bed liners, the world's toughest spray and bed liner. We work with all insurance companies to make your experience as easy as possible. It doesn't matter how long you've been doing it. It matters how long you've been doing it right.
Okefenokee Rural Electric Membership Corporation has been providing quality electric service at a competitive price to residential, commercial, and industrial customers in southeast Georgia and northeast Florida since 1939. For tips and advice on how to save electricity and stretch your energy dollars, call 1-800-262-5131 and speak to your marketing representative. We are a cooperative owned by those we serve.
All right, welcome back to the Coach Mack Show. Our third segment today, we had Coach Larry Carter. I didn't mention him in the second segment. You had Coach Carter from Bethune, the Bethune Braves, his inaugural season up here, Coach. Talked for a little bit. We finally got him on camera.
Yeah, Larry Carter, the biggest, I tell you what, I've got a lot of coaches that are loyal, and probably none more loyal than Larry Carter. And when I had an opportunity to make him the head junior high coach, it was no doubt. I mean, I hated to lose Coach Jack Thomas, but when he told me he was retiring, and it was no more than less than a minute after he told me that I already knew who my next junior high head football coach was going to be. It was going to be Larry Carter because he's a worker. And I'll take any coach in our program that'll work, and that's the big thing. When I have an opportunity to hire a coach, I don't always ask him, how much football do you know? What do you feel like you can teach and our kids and so forth? First thing I want to know, all those things are important, but the first thing I want to know, are you a worker? Are you willing to put the hours in? Are you willing to work? Are you willing to work weekends and all off season? That's what I want to know about a coach. And Coach Larry Carter, he's one of those guys that will work. He will stay here day and night, whatever you need to do to get the job done. So I'm happy to have him on our staff.
I feel he's going to do it. Well, obviously he's going to do a good job. He's got them going good. They're looking forward to the 31st in St. Mary's. So that's their opening game, I believe, on the 30th.
Yep, 31st and then September 6th. They're on the road still, but September 13th, that's a Thursday, we'll have those guys on our field right here in the swamp, and we look forward to seeing them out there.
All right. Let's dive into Pierce now, Coach. We've been looking at the Bears most of the summer with head coach Coach Bender over there. The Bennett, the young man Bennett and that offense, they look like Peyton Manning and the Broncos of old, and they're just hitting on all 8 cylinders.
Pierce County is a team that, they're a AAA football team that I think this year has a chance to make a deep run to playoffs. They may find themselves playing for it. I really believe that. Stetson Bennett is an incredible quarterback. Everything he does is so smooth. He's never out of control. He's never awkward. He is so in control and so smooth. I know he's been offered scholarships to Mercer. He's been offered scholarships at Georgia Southern and Middle Tennessee. And again, everybody wants the height, but if he was a couple inches taller, he'd go anywhere in this country. He's that good of a quarterback. But again, it's hard getting recruited as a quarterback. They only take a few quarterbacks every year out of the state. So he's going to be the best quarterback we've faced maybe in a long, long time, and he'll be the best quarterback we face all this year when it comes to throwing the football and running an offense. We'll see some athletes out there that will run around with it, but we're not going to see anybody that's as good as Stetson Bennett. This kid is fabulous. He's athletic. He can throw the ball anywhere on the field that needs to go. He puts his offense in situations to where the defense is almost always wrong, and that's what's so difficult about it. He has a couple really outstanding receivers. Walker Reddish, he is a slot guy, big receiver. He's a kid that you can cover, but yet he's still uncovered. He can still get the ball from you. They have another receiver. If you look at him, you think, how could that kid be an all-state receiver? But he is. He's as good a receiver as I've seen in a long time. Number 47, Chase Royer. He's a fabulous guy. This summer we had Raekwon, our best athlete and our best defensive back, trying to cover him, and Raekwon couldn't cover this guy. He was that good. And again, they say he's 5'11", 170. He may be 170, but I'm not sure he's 5'11". But he's as good a receiver as I've seen around. And then they have a running back, Clark. He's just an outstanding running back. They'll throw the screens to him, which this is the best screen football team as we've seen in a long time. We broke them down from in the past, from their films in the past, and a little bit what we saw this summer. And basically what we got was they're a 50-50 run-pass football team. And it's going to be, we almost have to use down and distance as best we can when we make our defensive calls, because they have the ability to throw it anywhere on the field to anybody. Quarterback can run it. They got a tailback that will take that thing up the middle, and he's really tough to handle. So this is going to be, we are going to see last week against Fitzgerald and this week against Pierce, two of the best offensive football teams in the state of Georgia, any classification. So for our defense, and I know we were talking rough about the defense, but again, I really believe, and I thought this going in, that the Pierce County offense and the Fitzgerald offense were the two best offenses in the state, and they both do completely opposite things. So we're going to see Last week we got ran over. This week we may have to run over the field chasing these great athletes. So it's going to be it's going to be really a challenge for us. I think that if people want to see a good offense, in which I think we have, and one of the best offenses I've seen in a long time, it'd be a great chance to come out and watch this scrimmage this week.
All right, Coach, on our offensive side of the ball, what versus their defense? I know we've seen them, like I said earlier, in the padded camps a lot. It's a little bit different, full pads when the lights are on, but what do you expect to try to do versus them? Are we going to see a lot of what we did at Fitz, or are you going to
first of all, we've got to do the things we do best. We can't try to manufacture offense doing things that we're not good at. We've got to do the things that we practice and the things that we're good at, and that's using our quarterback, our receivers, and our running back, and also what we call H-back / tight end. So hopefully the offensive line will step up their play, which I believe they will. Coach Murray was in here after practice. We did film before practice. Coach Murray brought those offensive linemen right back in the film room to try to do some things to get better. Defensively they're big, they're fast, they're strong, great personnel everywhere on the field. I don't think they have anybody going both ways. Everybody's going one way. It's a real well-coached group. They got a lot of size. When we scrimmaged against them, they had some kids you could tell were in the weight room. They had some big, thick, strong kids. So it's going to be a real challenge. And again, I wouldn't be shocked at all at the end of the year. We could see Pierce County possibly in the Georgia Dome, or see Pierce County for sure at least deep in the playoffs.
All right, Coach. Heading into the end of the show here, we're playing Pierce at 8 o'clock, right?
That's right.
At 8 o'clock.
Kickoff's at 8 o'clock, and the reason for that, a lot of people have asked, is the last few years that we've played them, we haven't got this thing kicked off till after 8 o'clock anyway because of the storms. So we just kind of always said we're playing at 8 o'clock. Hopefully one of these years we're going to be able to kick off on time. Hopefully this is the year that we do. So 8 o'clock kickoff. Hopefully we have a big crowd. I know they'll bring a lot of folks down. I know they'll fill their side. Hopefully we can get a lot of people here because a few years ago, Charlton County was recognized as being the toughest place in the state to play. And that wasn't all our football players. A lot of that was our band and our tremendous crowds that we have. So hopefully we can get that big crowd going. And of course, I know Mr. Hershey's going to have a great band out there as always. Hopefully we can have a great evening and a lot of support out there.
Do you think, going back just a little bit, I know we've talked about how this Fitzgerald thing was a hard hit for the kids. Have they responded today at practice the way you want them to respond?
Well, if any of you are parents of teenagers, it's hard to tell what they're thinking, and let alone, here I got 64 of them. It's hard to tell what they're thinking. I don't even know what they remember they did yesterday or this morning sometimes. But, we love them anyway. It's hard to tell if, I think after the game they were in shock. I think they were in shock because, kids can easily think they're really good. And sometimes it's hard to explain to them, you're not as good as you think, and we got a lot of work to do. If we do that work, you may be that good one day. So I think that I think it was a wake-up call, and hopefully we play better, faster, tougher this Friday against Pierce.
All right, Coach. I know you've got some fundraisers over there on the list. You got the Quarterback Club Grill and a big golf tournament this weekend.
We got the golf tournament this weekend. Starts at 9 o'clock out at the Folkston Golf Club. I believe all the slots were filled, but I think one may have reopened. So if there's anybody out there that has a foursome and wants to play golf, you may want to call out there. There may be a spot opened up here today, but I'm not sure. We also, this Friday and every Friday, and maybe even Thursdays and Tuesdays for B team and junior high football, we've got a grill out there. It's a Lang's Grill. Those of you know who Lang's is, they build some of the best grills there are. Ours is it's really a smoker. It's a 48-inch smoker. It's got a trailer hitch to it and all that. The value of this grill is $2,700. So it's a great grill. We're selling chances all year long for $10. I believe for $50, I believe you get 6 tickets. So $10 for one, $50 for 6. hopefully we'll have a lot of people either from Folkston or Pierce or other people that come to Folkston buy a chance for this grill, and we're going to give it away at halftime of the Clinch County game, which will be our last regular season game, senior night. Hopefully between now and then we sell a bunch of tickets on this grill, and somebody's going to, at that time, is going to go home with a great grill for their backyard or for wherever. So hopefully we get a lot of people interested in that. So bring an extra $10 or so this Friday night, and we may have also some T-shirts out there and things like that, and hopefully we have some people get involved with the program.
All right, so tee up, what time's first tee?
9 o'clock in the morning. We tee it off, and we'll have people spread over the golf courses. We'll have cornhole games going on for mulligans and all kinds of things going on. We give away, if someone hits a hole-in-one on a particular hole, not any hole, but a particular hole, they'll get $10,000 if they get a hole-in-one. And I think at the end of the golf course, we have a drawing. At the end of the golf tournament, we'll have a drawing for somebody to go hit one putt for a chance for, I think, $1,500. So there's some chances to make some money and win some prizes, and it's usually a good time, and hopefully we have a full tournament, which looks like we do.
It seems like that golf tournament is such a huge thing. We get messages on CSN. When is it? All summer long, so the guys are fired up and ready to go.
Yeah, it's a good day. It's a lot of fun, and we appreciate the support with that. And of course, with Charlton County Athletics, and like every other school, we're always trying to raise funds to help support the things we're doing out here with our kids.
All right, Coach. Anything else you need to hit on before we head out?
No, hope we have a big crowd Friday night, and cheer on them Indians, and hopefully we get better each and every week.
All right, Coach. Well, we'll see you Friday night on the sidelines at 8 o'clock. Gates open 7?
I'm sure they open at 6:30 or 7.
$7?
$7 at the gate. You can buy them in advance from the high school over here for $6, but it's $7 at the gate.
$7 a gate. All right, folks, we'll see you Friday night, 8 o'clock. Pierce County Bears are coming to town right here in the swamp. Thank you for watching this edition of the Coach Mack Show.